Yeah.
Hi, we're going to present the story of Persephone in Hades. My team is conformed by
Me, Alan Joseph Camacho Hernández.
Me, Javier Hernández Garza.
and me, Enia Montaño. Okay, so first, before telling the story, we're going to tell a little bit of background about Persephone. She was the daughter of the goddess Demeter and the god Zeus. She was kidnapped by Hades and later became the queen of the underworld. Ancient Greeks explained that the change of seasons and the eternal cycle of nature's death and rebirth is due to Persephone. Persephone was understood in people's mind as a naive little girl who flows between the protection of her mother and the love of her husband. The myth of Persephone was very popular in the ancient times. So that's all. And now with the story of Persephone and Hades. According to the Greek mythology, Persephone, the queen of the underworld, was the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, the goddess of harvest and fertility. She was also called Kor, which means maiden, and grew up to be a lovely girl, attracting the attention of many gods. However, Demeter had an obsessed love for her only child, and she kept all the men away from her. The most persistent suitor of Persephone was Hades, the god of the underworld. He was a hard middle-aged man living in the dark among the shadows of the dead. But his heart softened when he saw Persephone and was amazed by her youth, beauty, and freshness. When he asked Demeter to marry her daughter, Demeter got furious and said that there wasn't the slightest chance for that to happen. Hades was heartbroken and decided to get Persephone no matter what. One day, while the young girl was playing and picking flowers with her friends in a valley, she beheld the most enchanting narcissus she had ever seen. As she stooped down to pick the flower, the earth beneath her feet suddenly cleaved open, and through the gap, Hades himself came out on his chariot with black horses. Hades grabbed the lovely maiden before she could scream for help and descended into his underworld kingdom while the gap in the earth closed after them.
And the other girls had not seen anything because everything happened very quickly. They didn't have a clue of the sudden disappearance of Persephone. However, the whole incident was witnessed by Zeus and as well as by Helios, god of the sun. But Zeus decided to keep silent about the whole thing to prevent a fight with his brother, and Helios didn't want to get involved. Uh, Demeter was heartbroken and looked for her daughter in all the earth until her good friend Hecate, goddess of wilderness and childbirth, advised her to seek for the help of Helios. Helios felt sorry for Demeter, who was crying and pleading him to help her, and she revealed her that Persephone had been kidnapped by Hades, and Demeter got angry and wanted to take revenge, but Helios suggested that it was not such a bad thing for Persephone to be wife of Hades and queen of the dead. Demeter, however, could not let it go, and she was furious and deeply believed that Hades, who after all had only dead people for company, was not the right husband for her sweet daughter. And she also got angry at Zeus for not having revealed this to her. And to punish all gods and to grieve, Demeter decided to take along an indefinite leave for her duties as the goddess of harvest and fertility, and the earth began to dry, and plants lost their fruitfulness. Animals were dying for lack of food, and resulting in untold misery.
The cries of the people who were suffering reached the Olympus and the divine ears of Zeus. The mighty god finally realized that if he wouldn't do something about his wife's wrath, all humanity would disappear. Thus, he tried to find another solution to both calm Demeter and please Hades. He promised Demeter to restore Persephone to her if he can prove that Demeter, maiden, stayed with Hades against her will. Otherwise, Persephone belongs to her husband. The crafty Hades learned of this arrangement and tricked his reluctant bride, who was crying all day and night from despair, to eat a few seeds from the pomegranate fruit. This was the food of the underworld, and every time someone ate even a few seeds of this, then after a while they would miss life in the underworld. When the gathering in front of Zeus took place, Persephone was asked where she would like to live. She answered she wanted to live with her husband. When Demeter heard that, she got infuriated and accused Hades that somehow he had tricked her daughter. A great fight followed, and Demeter threatened that she would never again make Earth fertile, and everyone on Earth would die. To put an end on this quarrel, Zeus decided that Persephone would spend half of the months with her husband in Hades' realm and half the months with her mother in Olympus. This alternative pleased none of the two opponents, and nevertheless they had no other option but to accept it. And well, that's about it. That's the story of Persephone and Hades from Greek mythology. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.